What's up everyone, it's Prince again. I'm sorry I haven't uploaded it in a little while, I've been a little bit busy. The usual suspects were actually all together at the same time a little while ago, the five of us, which is cool because we live in different states, so this is a little bit of a rarity. And so we got in some standard games, and I got some footage from some cool games that I want to review before I inevitably bring you guys something more meaningful in terms of content in the near future. But for now, I thought it'd be fun to just check out how some of these games went, because there's always something to learn when you review your games, right? It's something that I really like to do. We switched things up a little bit, I remember, in this lineup. Here we just let RogueCharlee go to the jungle here, and I am bottom laning with Sakaven, the age-old duo here. One thing that was interesting, a difference between this game and the next game, is that Thundertoes was not on a support this game around. He was on a different ADC. That means no Exp.Share on the top lane, which is pretty common in solo queue and ladder climbing. This is really interesting here. So my Dwebble actually steals that Bunnelby, but we give up the Indeedee because we didn't notice that the Swinub was down here. So at this moment, we're behind, so we realize we need a kill here on one of them so that we don't fall farther behind. And of course, we don't get it, but I position myself in a way that says, okay, basically, the Swinub was wounded, right? So I'm going to stand right between you and the Indeedee. You have two choices to make. You can come and try and contest the Indeedee, but risk your life, or you can run away and lose the Indeedee. And that's how I make sure at least one of those things happens. Sure enough, the Swinub doesn't want to let it go. He comes back, and he dies. So that's awesome. So we lost one of our bottom Indeedees, but we took their Bunnelby and won both mid Indeedees. So according to the math, we're doing pretty well. Unfortunately, we were not able to score here. I've got to get away. But our jungle Ninetales has come down and is ripping through these birds. And it looks like we secure all of them. That's awesome. I have to go back and get some berries here. I would love to be frontlining, but I'm running out of hit points. At this point, our jungler returns. I'm going to fight over this Indeedee once again. And it looks like the Swinub and Charizard are distracted at the bottom lane there. It's like Inteleon and Sylveon up here are just starting to get their footing. They haven't been able to score on this goal either. It doesn't look like they're having the greatest time in the top lane. Things look pretty even in terms of level. Lakshmi barely survives that onslaught. Excellent, they've got support there now. Beautiful secure with Electro Ball on that Indeedee. If we stop and take a look at the levels here at the bottom lane, 6 and 5 versus 5 and 4. So we're leading pretty handily down here at the bottom lane. Always great to see. But we also haven't scored, if I'm not mistaken. We're both carrying 30. At this point, we should have been more aggressive. I should have realized, hey, the Piloswine's not there. There's only one. We should be attacking them because they're contesting the mid-birds up there. I noticed too late, and by the time we start diving, the Piloswine has already returned, and we have lost our number advantage. I was trying to go for a berry there. Charmander looked like he was lacking experience a little bit compared to the rest of his teammates. A nice little X-Scissor trick to get the birds away from my opponent, but he clutches and gets a lot of them anyway. Kudos to that player. Oh, and I think we saw Venusaur coming down. So it's at around this time that the objectives have started spawning. So we're here waiting for more teammates to arrive, and we see we count 5 opponents here. So they burst us and rip us, and look where our allies are. They were heading down here, and this is where, because we're in the same room, we're communicating. We say, no, don't come down here, because we're going to be split anyway. They're going to have the numbers advantage on us the entire time. So instead, I call to Lakshmi and Thundertoes to go up and try and secure that Regieleki. There's no contesting up there. We just saw 5 of them at the bottom. So instead, Sakaven and I pivot up here, and the enemy team doesn't have time to come in and steal. So that good communication. So now they're showing up a little bit scattered. I should have put the Rock Tomb on the way to block the way toward their own goal. I don't know, that's something that always irks me watching this replay, is that why did I put it there as if they were retreating southward? I needed to put it to the east so they couldn't just walk and defend their goal. But luckily, we're able to get a quick kill there on the Leafeon, and Venusaur can't do anything to stop the Regieleki from crashing, and we get a beautiful overscore here of 26, I want to say. You know, we're at 34 and we went score 30 into score 30. I call here that I'm going to the bottom lane. That's what the exclamation point was about. Because all of our goals are broken, we now have this catch-up XP, the Indeedis on the side. So everyone is just farming up, making sure we keep our level advantage. That's going to be really important to maintain. We're doing great here. You see Sakaven at level 10 compared to both level 8s of the bottom laners, a Piloswine and the enemy Pikachu. Or sorry, the enemy Charizard was the other bottom laner, and he's only level 7. Luckily, Charizard has been buffed. He now evolves at level 7, so it's not as bad as it could be. Oh, and this player just got Mamoswine, but he gets locked in a cool little Rock Tomb there. Rebel Rouser's going to try and catch these out of position. Such a powerful Unite move. It's one of the coolest things about playing Crustle. The number advantage was too great to overcome, but the enemy didn't come out of that unscathed. They did lose their Pikachu. And of course their Mamoswine, if we count the very start of that fight. I couldn't tell here. I thought the Venusaur had been on X speed that whole time, but I think it's actually just Petal Dance that gives him that speed boost. I realize I'm not going to catch anyone with these little tiny crab feet, so instead I come down here, try and secure these birds because they're out in the open. The enemy could sneak up and take them. So getting in position to take the top Regi over there, which is awesome, because if we're careful, we might be able to beat a whole lot of them at the bottom here if we're well organized. And then we might have the numbers on them up there. Cool little Inteleon Unite. This is how you have to play it. If they run away from your Unite, then you come back and hit the Regice. Punish them for moving away from you, you know? It's a dangerous game that both teams have to play. The enemy's thinking, do we let the Regice go? Or do we risk walking into the Inteleon Unite? That's what you have to take away their good options. Now here the Pikachu did well to try and steal that, but unfortunately he doesn't quite get it, and now he's going to get punished for overextending. And we win the top objective. That was beautiful. They had so many resources on us down here, and they did kill Sakaven, so they did okay. But the Inteleon Unite move really flipped that matchup there. So here, unfortunately, they're going to do a good job of defending this Regieleki, so the push isn't necessarily going to work. So it's back to farming for us. You can see my Crustle at the bottom there getting those Indeedis again. Thundertoe's picking up some jungle farm. Level 11's a good place for me to be as an Exp.Share tank before the 3-minute mark. Thundertoes is not level 12 yet. You could see what not having an Exp.Share on the top lane is doing to some of our levels. Sylveon is the same level as the Exp.Share tank. Although that all changes here. Sakaven wisely lets the Sylveon last hit, so she can have another level. Here we ambush this Leafeon. He's completely gone. Venusaur has no choice but to back out. We're gonna try and dive their goal here. No, we back out because we're looking at the time. And we say, no, we don't want to fight them there where we risk losing some of our characters before the Rayquaza fight, right? So instead, we go prep. Thundertoes really wants his level 13 because that's where you get the second plus move. I think it's liquidation, so that's a really big deal. Ninetales is also farming. 13 on Ninetales would be sweet. The rest of us are in position. This is a very interesting Ray fight because of the enemy positions here. Now, two of them are kind of stranded up there at the top. Maybe Charizard's going for a Quick cap. No, he seems to be coming south. So I don't know where they are. I try and check this bush. I see none of them. Inteleon unites to try and find them and just get this over with really quickly. But they're nowhere near the range where we thought they were going to be. They weren't in the bush to the right or the bush to the below us. That huge Venusaur unite chunks all of us, but luckily doesn't get any kills because we were all at full HP. And he walks, but straight into all of us, so he is not long for this world. I am chasing down these guys at the bottom. Hit the unite move. Leafeon's easy picking there. And I go down, eliminate this Pikachu. And I go in and score. There's no one here to stop me. Now, unfortunately, Charizard wins the fight up there, and he starts ripping the Ray, not realizing there's one of us still alive. We just demolished the goal zone, so now we're winning, and it's a 1v1. I don't like the Charizard matchup, but I'm not trying to kill him here, luckily for me. I have the luxury of only wanting to be in the area so that he fears the chance that I steal the Ray, right? So here I'm in the bush. I think they saw me walk in there because they come in at me. I think I shouldn't have made that play. I should have stayed farther back. I just wanted to have vision on the Rayquaza without having to mouse over. That was silly on my part. So I take some unnecessary damage before my team gets here, but now my team is starting to get here. I'm just trying to pile in as much damage as I can before I go down inevitably, because I know I'm going to get killed here. Shh. Surviving with a sliver. There's my last little Rock Tomb to try and put my allies in the best position possible. So here, well, yeah, Electro Ball, Volt Tackle, Pikachu is really good against speedsters because those moves lock on and slow your movement. Now we've got 4 alive and there's only 2 of the enemies left. Pikachu's near the top. Charizard was ripping that objective the whole time, but I mean, from his perspective, it probably would have been more helpful. Maybe he did start fighting, but see, at this point it's a little bit too late. If you peel off of the Rayquaza and try and get away, then it won't have time to heal. We would just have come in and destroyed the Ray, right? So he was just desperately hoping that he would secure the Ray here. But, of course, this Ninetales has too long in between its moves, so both of them are off cooldown, so it's an easy secure on the Charizard and the Ray right at that moment. Boom. Nice little Blizzard Avalanche combo. Takes out the Ray, takes out the Charizard, and we get the surrender. So that game was really cool, but now we can check out one of the games that we struggled with in a little bit more. I don't remember what order we played these games in. We were just messing around, hanging out. And so the differences are, here, Sakaven is jungling and RogueCharlee is laning at the bottom with me, and here Thundertoes is playing an Exp.Share support. So we're not going to be fighting for XP over here. Thundertoes isn't as experienced on Blissey. He does play it well, but you generally want to have a lot of games on Pokemon to guarantee victory here. Now this Torchic, famously, not a very good Pokemon in the early game. Oh, I think the Squirtle steals the secure on that Bunnelby. It's not too hard to guarantee Sylveon early, but we've been having bad luck with the last hits. Sakaven came a little bit too far behind when he set up that Solar Blade. It was just too easy to run away from. So a couple little mistakes here. Still 20 seconds until we get the birds. I wouldn't be pushing too high, but Sakaven wants his stacks, and he gets one. So actually that's a good idea. We've got Sylveon now, we're looking good. Unfortunate miss on the Solar Blade there. Down here, things aren't looking too hot. I'm still a level 3 Dwebble. We got ganked. The Leafeon is in the jungle now. Both Leafeons are going to duke it out. Oh, this was some... We could have secured a few more of those birds. Oh man, Sylveon dies right as the Chansey's heal is going off. That was unfortunate, especially since now we're dealing with a Combuskin, not a Torchic. That is a much better Pokemon than Torchic, sadly. You can see I am still a Dwebble. I call out that I'm heading to the bottom path so my team knows where I'm going. We're all sitting in the same room, so they know where I'm going. It's just good practice to you know, get used to communicating with your team for when you're not in voice chat. Or in the same living room, as was the case on this day. So finally we've got not only Sylveon, but also Blissey here in this top lane. We've got my Crustle down there. Finally we're in a position to maybe start pulling this game back. Oh man, I think Sakaven just gets taken out by the enemy Leafeon in the jungle and evolves the enemy Leafeon. That was the one level advantage we had up until that point, but we finally take down this Combuskin. Ouch. Blissey can't follow the Sylveon because he got chunked really hard by that Solar Blade. This was a little bit of a messy early game from all points of view. Solar Blade started a little bit too early, but we end up getting the secure. I think Sakaven was expecting the enemy to push closer to our goal, when in fact that did not happen, but we're able to secure the birds between the three of us, and now we want to press the initiative, I think. We know there's only one laner left. I put up a nice wall there to try and make sure Sakaven scores. I don't know if it did too much. I still ended up dying, but Sakaven did score. That's important. This Pokemon is stacking. Wants his stacks. It needs to go back to heal now, but now return to make sure that its Ninetales can survive. Sure enough, it can. And now the Crustle's back. We're going to try and fight. If we can get a kill here, we have a big enough numbers advantage to where we can definitely get the bottom Reggie. Unfortunately, we lose the top Reggie. I think they had wiped Sylveon and Blissey, and that's why they're so far behind getting the catch-up XP. Hopefully we can defend that up there. But we start ripping. Oh, we start ripping before we get a kill. Gang, we've already got the number advantage. Duraludon snipes down the Ninetales, but the enemy cannot secure the Reggie from us. Unfortunate speed boost. Couldn't see if that was an X speed or not, but doesn't matter. The Solar Blades with this many stacks at this point are really hurting the opponents now. Ouch! Well, they couldn't stop the big score from the Leafeon, but they could come back and wipe us. The end. Those two had just shown up to the bottom Reggie fight a little bit late, but it worked out for them. Sylveon and Blissey were on their way down. Now this moment's pretty huge. This goal's at 72. We're getting a score of 70 here. Beautiful. Venusaur tried uniting to win this fight, but Blissey united right back. No chance for that Venusaur. Now, unfortunately, Leafeon breaks the goal with 9 here. It's an overscore of 7. Would have been fantastic to get a bigger lead on that. It's my thought that he was missing his 5th or 6th stack at that point, and he wanted to guarantee all of them before the late game, which is certainly understandable. Unfortunately, the buff gets stolen by this Leafeon. His name is Catch Us, and we are in fact not catching him. But what we do catch is this Blaziken in the bush. Now this fight's going to be interesting. Blissey gets popped, but Leafeon hops right back into the fight. And Sylveon's still alive. Sylveon's going to go down, but now the Crustle's here. I'm trying to get that Blaziken. Blaziken would have gotten away if he hadn't jumped back and tried to stay in the fight. I'm not sure why he did that, because he definitely is getting punished now. I am looking to secure all 3 kills here. There's 2. Here comes the Blissey. Blastoise wisely gets away. Can it get away? Of course not. This is why we play Rock Tomb, boys. Easy kill on the 3 of them. Let's go. And now... Oh, well, we get this Leafeon here, but we force him to use his Unite move and run, as opposed to using his Unite move for a kill, which is always what you want to see. It is a Leafeon, so it'll probably be back. Maybe even once before the Ray fight, as well as in the Ray fight. We do our best to try and keep him away here. So focused on the Leafeon, but I'm worried about the Duraludon here. Haha, but Sylveon makes it back just in time to secure that Regieleki. And now, we're doing great. Ah! Mutual destruction there from the enemy Leafeon and my Crustle. So now we back out. I think... Oh, Lakshmi was carrying 50. It might have been correct. I've seen this recording a few times, and knowing in hindsight that that Regieleki was crashing after all, you could probably run right past that Venusaur, hit the score button, and score anyway. Of course, D. Lakshmi had started getting those birds, but Thundertoes had called her to the center to contest the birds that are more easy to take by the opponents, because those are in a more dangerous position for them, right? They're closer to our goal, whereas the ones in the jungle are fair game. So I think he's correct there, that these are higher priority. Unfortunately, they have to run into a Blaziken here. Not sure how many of those birds they ended up actually securing, but at least we didn't lose the ones in the lane because Crustle's got them. Beautiful. Sylveon's at a great level here. Blissey's not doing too shabby either. They're going for 13 and 11. And good use of that catch-up XP. Sakaven's fighting the Venusaur for the birds in the lane. Wish I had panned over to see how things went there. Actually, just a second. Oh, it's only going to show me that Venusaur's already carrying 50. Leafeon has 24. 28. Okay, so it looks like Sakaven was able to secure at least one of those little birds. It's alright, Venusaur is kind of a monster in the late game, and Leafeon is not. Now here is another scenario that's really interesting. RogueCharlee had been fighting way too many opponents down there, as you can see on the map, and Crustle starts heading down there. Now when I get there, they have already beaten the Ninetales. Now I'm here to just try and clean up. Of course, Sakaven smells blood, so he's coming behind me. Now here, it's Rebel Rouser time, and the Blaziken did not learn its lesson. As soon as you see that Unite move pop off, you run in the opposite direction. He ran straight toward me and easily got killed. I secure 3 of them. I have to get away now. I have no HP, but this Leafeon is going to be able to take down Blastoise. Had a nice little level advantage on him. And now do we wait for the bottom? We do not. We recall. And look at this. Look at the time. It is almost Rayquaza time, and the enemy team will still be scrambling to get back up because they were just wiped at the bottom lane. So now we're coming in, and this is a crazy, crazy Ray fight. So look at the top right corner of the map right now. That Venusaur has a really interesting idea, which is as soon as the Ray spawns, the enemy is going to be focused on the Rayquaza, and I'm going to slip right in, score 100 at this top goal, and then go in with Solar Beam to try and take down that Ray. This is something I did not notice at all during the game, but it's something really interesting to analyze afterward, because it could have worked out really well for him. Now, the enemy team isn't here. They're lagging. So what we decide right away is just like, you know what? Just rip this thing. And I set up a door to the entry point. Look at that Blastoise, my favorite moment of the game. He's so confused. Because the checkpoint got locked away, right? So now I'm going to walk right into them. From where they are, if they're not mousing over to the Ray, they're too far away to see what's happening with the Rayquaza. You could see at the very top right of the screen right there, Rayquaza's HP is below 25%. We've almost got it. The Venusaur's up there in the corner, still trying to score his 50. I'm fighting here at the choke point, and before the enemy knows it, boop, Rayquaza's already gone. This Venusaur's late. He's running to go play catch-up now. So now it's a game. We were losing 291 to 187. That's a pretty sizable lead that the opponents had on us. It used to be only 4, but of course the Venusaur just got a score of 100. But in doing so, he will cost his team the Ray. So, I'm going to score 100 here on this goal. We're going to try and score at the bottom goal, but they have a hefty defense down here. Of course, it leaves them open to a score in their home goal. Blissey's going to deposit 100 here. And now it's time for Thundertoes and I to go back, because we already scored, but they're successful in fending off the Leafeon and Sylveon down there. So now, it's just the tank and the supporter alive, trying to defend against most of the entire enemy team, right? So here we're on the goal pad, we're trying to scout him out. I think RogueCharlee's making the first move to go down there. I think one of us should have been quicker to go. Could have stayed a little bit closer to the pad here, and unfortunately RogueCharlee's going down pretty early, interrupting what looked like what was going to be a Blissey Unite. Nope, no, it was just a soft-boiled. But unfortunately it does not reach the Ninetales, it gets killed before the egg comes down. You can set up a Rebel Rouser here, but they're throwing everything at us. I think the Venusaur had gone up, but met up with either Sylveon or Leafeon, who Sylveon at this point does not last long in this fight. I think she eats a Unite move here. Let's check out what's happening here, because on the minimap it shows Venusaur heading up. Yeah, runs into that Leafeon and decides to come down and help his team. Yeah, Sylveon jumps in right here. Oh, gets caught up in the Venusaur Unite. So it's just the tank and the support yet again, the only ones that lasted this long. I get a nice little kill, but I'm going to go down to the Giga Drain. Yeah, the Petal Dance gets me. Thundertoes has to retreat to the goal. At this point, Sakaven realizes, no, it's not happening up there. The fight is down here. This is their chance to score. And this is the tragic thing, is this Duraludon starts scoring in the corner while Blissey's fighting the Venusaur. Blissey goes to stop him, and the auto attack hits the Venusaur instead of the Duraludon, and he scores his The 39 he was carrying, that turns into 78. Oh man, we had no idea how this game ended. You could see the scores right now. We're still leading, but that was definitely a facepalm moment right there. We were so close to successfully defending that. And luckily we were ahead by just enough to where it didn't matter, but man, this was one cool game. We did some things really correctly. We could have done things a little bit better. I think one of the things that we need to work on, as Sakaven goes here to try and get a score last minute, because of course we don't know if we've won or lost, but he's carrying a little bit too much. Maybe he shouldn't have picked up any more. He should have tried to stay low. But of course, I think they were on their jump pad, so he would have interrupted no matter what. As I was saying, I think one of the things we need to get a little bit better on is managing when there's 2 or 3 different points that the enemy can score on, exactly how we disperse ourselves in order to protect everything. But anyway, yeah, those were some excellent games. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you next time.